Hi, everybody. Hope you had an amazing Shabbos. Wow, a new week. And today, here at our brain training class for children with Auntie Mimi, really looking forward to sharing with you things that really, really help me, um, help me a lot. And that's why I'm doing what I'm doing, because I love sharing, and I love especially sharing with children, even though I know this here is the forum that we're collecting not only children but also adults. And as they say, good is good and better is better. So whatever level we're on, it's always good to increase our brain power with inspiring information and like really helping it get deep within us so that we can live what we learn. So today, as I was hearing different things in my own personal life happening and different experiences of late, I thought this is a very good time to talk about being a true friend. Yes. I'll take you back to a story. And this story happened in the Holocaust. And this boy found out that there was going to be like underground activity to save people. And at a certain time, at a certain hour, these wagons were going to come and in the wee hours of the night and sneak away the prisoners of the Holocaust in the concentration camps. So these two boys are on their way to save their lives and to escape. And what happened was one of the boys said, "Oh my goodness, I can't believe I forgot my father's tefillin. I cannot leave without my father's tefillin. Please, please, go there and beg them to wait for me. Please, please, and don't leave without me, please." And in the rush and in the feeling very like committed and feeling so like sure of like for sure I would never leave you. Like, oh my gosh, go get your tefillin. So the boy runs to get his tefillin of his father, and in the meanwhile, the other boy who's waiting at the spot where the wagon is supposed to come, the wagon shows up. And at that moment in time, he's like, oh my gosh, they're not listening to me. They're not waiting. And he just like sees the wagon go away. And he was like, what should I mean, of course I'm not going to leave my friend. I promised him. I said I wouldn't leave without him. So lo and behold, the wagon goes, bye-bye. And the friend is now kind of running, and he sees, that he has a tefillin, and he also sees there's another wagon. So he's like feeling very relieved, and this boy with his tefillin just jumps on the wagon and like leaves, and he, the one who stayed, the one who was a loyal friend, was shocked, beside himself. I can't believe that this is happening to me. It's like I was so loyal to him. I can't believe. And he was crushed and he was hurt and he felt like stupid. He felt like he wished he didn't wait. But then in a blink of an eye, like almost in an instant, this is the way he writes his memoir, because he did survive. He does get saved to tell this story. He felt like, no, I did the right thing. Even if he wasn't loyal to me, I'm glad that I was a loyal friend. And all of a sudden, he writes that something shifted in him. He felt like his neshama just grew like, 10 feet tall. He wasn't the same person. after he had that thought. And I remember when I was reading this story, I was like, oh my gosh, that's exactly like one of the stories I read about the Baal Shem Tov. And the Baal Shem Tov story was that there was always like the Chevra Kadisha, there was this group of holy men that would go from different places to like learn secrets of the Torah and see certain different, life experiences to help them really understand Torah and Judaism and Hashem. So one time, the Baal Shem Tov says, let's go to this village. And they all went to this village. And they're like being shown around. They see the butcher, the shoemaker, just everyday village life. And then the Baal Shem Tov says, okay, we're leaving. So all of the group members were like, wait a minute, like, why did we travel here? They were waiting for that like really holy aha moment, or that inspiration that they were going to experience, and there was nothing. And so they were concerned maybe they did something that like prevented the revelation and the experience of happening. So one bold chassid went to the Baal Shem Tov and asked, like, please, I don't know what we did, but is there something we did that we didn't get to do our normal, like, for bringing, or whatever it is that they would do to experience that new revelation from the Baal Shem Tov? And the Baal Shem Tov then said, no. I'm telling you, you saw a lot here. He's like, okay. And the Baal Shem Tov said, every person that you saw in this village reached the level of their of their neshama. Well, you may not know what the ma of the neshama is. And when I heard this story, I didn't know either. So the ma of our neshama is the part of the neshama that's actually like related to the Hashem's deepest levels of powers. And the ma of the neshama actually is squeezed out of us when we act with self-sacrifice, especially not only to Hashem, but because like you can go the extra mile and learn a little more. You can go the extra mile and like pray a little more, and you can go the extra mile, and you can have such self-sacrifice in your relationship to God. But in this way, the people had given their basic like necessities to have saved a life of a stranger in the town. So the Baal Shem Tov said, because of their self-sacrifice, they sold their basic essentials to redeem this man who did not have money and was thrown in jail. And they didn't even know the guy. So you see how holy these people are? They had reached the level of the ma of the neshama, and you got to see them. So sometimes in life, maybe your sister doesn't share so much, or maybe in school your friend is not so nice to you when you needed help to study something, or maybe there's circumstances where you feel like they weren't good to me. Why should I give go? And all these like excuses because it feels so natural. Like if they hurt you, and it's just like hard for you to then be giving or to be helpful, or they weren't loyal to you. Like in this story with this boy. So know that when he had even that thought, no, I did the right thing. I was loyal. I was true to myself, to the being I want to be, even though the recipient, the person who he was giving that loyalty, wasn't as loyal back. So one of the things we should learn is never to regret, like if we did something good to someone and then in the end they don't return the favor, or they like show their true colors of disloyalty. It could be in that moment, everyone has like moments of Yetzer Hara. Maybe in another moment they would be more loyal in that regard. But what the message is cherish the fact that you were the one that did the right thing. Let not the friend's behavior, steal away from what you have achieved of being loyal to yourself, to your standard, to what you want to be, to what you're going to develop to be. Because each moment that it was difficult for you and you fought through it and you rose to the occasion, then that builds you. Okay, yes, they benefited, and maybe in your head you're feeling like they don't deserve to benefit your nice deed, but that's between you and Hashem. Like, what you did to prove to yourself of your stature and your holiness and your being that leader, of being a mensch, of being kind, of being compassionate, of being forgiving, of being what it really is to be a human being in the making. And that was one step closer to making you a better person. So you see what I'm saying? How many times children in school get so broken? Not only did they not help, but they might have even behaved really wrongly in public against them. Or let's say a teacher says, "Who did this?" And someone says, "I didn't do it, he did it." Like, because you end up using your mouth to like exonerate, exonerate means like to like get rid of the blame on you and like so easily, point your fingers and give the blame to someone else. I remember a story. I was so fascinated by this story, by the like amazing specialty that we could have in really being extra careful not to like make someone look bad. So there was a teacher, and like he didn't really say it in a good way, but I guess he wasn't so careful of the consequences of what the results would be if he would say it that way. So he said it, and he said it amongst like, older students, not like, fifth graders or third graders. It was kind of, I guess, a kollel situation where you study after, you graduate and before you get married. And so he said in public, in front of the whole class, "I smell a strong smell of garlic. And it's really like, I can't take the smell. I can't concentrate. Whoever ate garlic today, please leave." So everyone got up and everyone left. And the teacher was like baffled because, you can learn from your students. And this is an example of that statement. So what happened was, after they were just like kind of all confused that everyone came out, and the reason why they did it is because every one of those students thought that better he should come out and be shamed that he's the one who ate the garlic rather than the real person. They took upon themselves that kind of self-sacrifice, as it were. Okay, it's not like self-sacrifice of your life, but they sacrificed their honor. Like that they might have been looked at as shamed that they didn't brush their teeth or whatever, and they had bad breath, to protect the person who did have the garlic. I mean, wow. Like, imagine that. Being on top of yourself, thinking, like, how can I even prevent someone else from being shamed by the way I'm going to respond, even if it may look like I'm the one. Okay, that's a high level. But imagine training your brain that way, that you're extra careful to make sure your answer is not going to be incriminating or making it look bad on the other, And there was a story like that. So many stories like that. I think even in the Tanya, someone said, "Who did this bill? It's wrong." And the father was hearing, I guess, one of the workers, and the boy who also works for, the company says, "It wasn't I, it was the tailor who did this bill." And his father says, "Be very careful of Lashon Hara." And he was just not saying Lashon Hara in a sense, like he was like, because the guy was like, saying that he, like, gonna point to him, the boy that did it. And he was like, "I didn't do it. It was this." And he was just stating a fact. But by stating that fact, it actually made someone look bad. So sometimes that happens even between, family members. And now we're like allotted home together. Who spilled this? Or who made this mess? Who didn't clean after themselves? And like, you're standing there and I didn't do it, but you have to be careful. Would you want someone to tattletale on you? That you're the one? Even though someone might, you get what I'm saying? Like, V'ahavta Orecha Kamocha is really thinking of, if you were in that situation, would you want someone to behave that way toward you? And sometimes it's unbelievable. One can say something and someone, like, let's say, for instance, someone says, how come you did that? And you say like, ugh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. And then the person will say, no, you didn't. I could feel that you're saying sorry or not saying sorry. And they'll like judge you like as if you didn't really mean sorry. And then they can be really not nice to you, that they don't believe you or something like that. And it's like, wait a minute. Can you tell what's in someone else's heart? Do you have X-ray vision to see if they are or not meaning it? Adults are doing this. I mean, I told you the story that happened a while ago to me when I was in shul. I was like shocked. Like, as much as I was explaining to the person that I didn't mean it that way, they wouldn't believe me. And I really meant it that certain way. So it's very easy to get caught up in like what you think and what you feel is not an acceptable apology or not acceptable the way they said it and this and that. And it could just bring such challenges to relationships and friendship. So I hope today we're going to slow down our brain so that we think more before we speak. We think more before we act. And we think more, what will this behavior do to my relationship with them? Where can I even have a little more self-sacrifice and understand that the deed I did, whether they deserved it or not, is being a true and loyal friend to myself? To be true and loyal to the standard I want for myself to be able to be a better person. Where can we stop the thoughts? Those thoughts, ugh, they didn't deserve that I did that for them, and ugh, I can't believe I did so much for them, and they're not giving back to me like I did for them, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And then we take away from the purity of that action, and it makes us feel like as if our happiness now is snatched from us from having done such a amazing, holy, good deed. That is sometimes not easy. But the more we brain train our mind to switch tracks, the more we have our brain interpret the situation more appropriately, more positively, the more we won't get enmeshed in such thoughts that then end up creating all kinds of sad emotions because of it. Whether, oh my gosh, I don't deserve that she was not loyal. I don't deserve her. Oh my God. And then you have this day full of these negative, heavy energies, which create these negative emotions. And then the negative emotions just doesn't give us the power to act in a happy-go-lucky way, in a light way, in a beaming, neshamadik way. So your good deeds bring out the ma of your neshama. Your good deeds, especially those hard deeds that wasn't easy for you, and you did it with a level of self-sacrifice. I can tell you for myself, bless my mom. She worked many jobs. They were immigrants from Israel, and they were financially challenged at the time. And it was very hard. You know, my parents worked full time. And many times after school, you know, we had someone take care of us. And I remember at one point, my rabbi, you know, when we first became Chabad, he was like, "Oh, I want you to, you know, teach at our Chabad house," and I was like, you know, I know what it was after school not to be with my mom, and I'm like, I don't want to leave my children at night. It's so hard for me, you know, it's just so difficult for me. So I did concoct a way, you know, I made a schedule so that my children would go with me, because it was like an hour drive to get to the place I was teaching and an hour back. So I would schedule a baking class for them in the other room at the Chabad house in the kitchen, and they had a blast. So we had a full hour together while driving, and we had a full hour on the back, and I would make sure to like take them to special places before the class to have a special dinner in Great Neck. And so it became like a fun trip. And then they would have a baking class, which they loved. Because it was so hard for me to not be with them for that hour because of my experience of, you know, going through what I went through. So the point is that I remember like how difficult it was for me, even though that 1 hour I wanted to be in the kitchen with them having fun and making and baking. Like it was for me because of my experiences. So sometimes, like, because of your experience, it really makes it hard for you to be, you know, loyal or to that person or to that, you know, maybe because of your childhood experiences at home. So, you know, and then when I read this, it gave me a little, you know, comfort that because it was so difficult for me and not like others, that I got an extra merit, and it was squeezing, you know, part of me out, like in a good way. Just like you have this, you know, oil that's squeezed out of a olive. And so it gave me even more pleasure, and more strength to like do things that are not easy. You know, because I know, because it's not easy for me, that it's considered very valued, and it gives me, you know, a greater access to the true me. So again, the message is, you know, yes, we should really truly do things for the other. But sometimes when it's so difficult, these kinds of ideas, if we really absorb and keep these in our mindsets, then it gives us that extra strength to do the right thing when we don't want to, or when it's hard for us. Because, you know, you got to trick your Yetzer Hara. Yeah, the Yetzer Hara, that inner voice of ours that you know sometimes tries to get in our way from doing the right deed. So you like you dangle it, you know, if you do this, like, you're going to be a better person. You're going to be more refined. You're going to be more honorable. You're going to be more the person you want to be. Like, hello, animal soul, Yetzer Hara, let's get, you know, because I remember a story that the Alter Rebbe wrote about, it was in Likutei Torah, where this man actually was saying that that, you know, is, you know, sometimes he uses arrogance to fight his Yetzer Hara. Yeah, you're beneath this. You're royalty. You're a dignified person, right? Like, through like kind of getting that animal soul to listen to the Yetzer Hara, you know, like and trick it. Like, you know, if you do this, you're going to be honorable. You're going to be dignified, and so it more easily, you know, wants to listen and not, you know, fight with you. So anyways, these are some of the tactics that we can use to help us do the right thing, to bring Mashiach already, to end the suffering, to just bring more kindness to the world, to bring more love and peace, and to be the lamplighters and the leaders, so that the others will follow our suit and will follow our ways. And one person at a time will get influenced by you doing the right thing, even if seemingly they did not do right by you. Because in essence, you are doing right by yourself, for yourself, because you become even a greater leader and even a greater example, which is going to influence people far and wide. So, are we ready to now brain train part 2 of this series? And that is, get your coloring pens and your paper. And we will start brainstorming some ideas of what we can make a picture of to help our brain remember the messages that we learned here today. I would say, yes, it's certainly easier said than done. I'm looking if there's more questions. But again, the brain training will help you remember these ideas. So when the next situation, comes up, you'll be saying, doing the right thing, yes, is amazing, because Hashem wants us to be that leader and that example. But doing the right thing helps us personally live in our own skin better. You ever heard that expression, living in your own skin? Because you have to live in your own being, more than anyone on the face of the earth. Because even when you get married or, so you see your husband when he comes home from work, but all the day you have to live with yourself. So, yes, not easy, but these are what we need to do to have that greater strength, so it'll be easier and easier. And we need to give this to the children, right? The children need these tools, so they have it now and not after they're married and not after 10 years and and then it's chaval, they didn't have it earlier. So that's why I'm doing this. All right, so the picture I see is maybe the Baal Shem Tov, and you see the shoemaker, and you see maybe the farmer or the dressmaker, whatever, all these people, and and then maybe the word ma of their neshama, so just ma, mem hey, or just say it in English, M-A, and it's beaming. Every person has this beaming ma, 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 ma. They had reached the level of the ma of their neshama. Or maybe write the letters ma. And and just make a beautiful sign to remind you, when you do a good deed, your ma of your neshama gets exposed, gets revealed, gets squeezed out of you, if you want to say or maybe make an olive, right? And see the oil dropping out. Every act of kindness just squeezes the juice out of you. And so valuable part of you that gets squeezed out. Actually, there was another story that I remember learning. Oh my gosh, okay, I'm going to say it here while you're thinking of your own ideas maybe. But it reminds me back of the story when... during the time of Sodom and Gomorrah, that this woman did self-sacrifice to save this person, because back in those criminal days, in that generation during Sodom and Gomorrah, they would really it was a crime to help anybody. It was a crime to give tzedakah and give charity. It was a crime to feed someone who didn't have food. Can you imagine? Oh my gosh, thank God we don't live in that generation. And she did such self-sacrifice to save this poor person that when she said Hashem, and she looked up to Hashem, please help, that this shouldn't be anymore, that this should, there shouldn't be this wickedness anymore. And in her merit, there was a transformation. In her merit, because her voice went directly to Hashem. Because normally, you your prayers go through a certain process until it reaches Hashem. But those who do self-sacrifice to that extent, it's like an instant email, even faster than that, like an instant text, like faster than that Hashem like pays attention to what you want right away. And you know, so that's also another thing you can dangle to your Yetzer Hara. Don't stop me from being kind. Don't stop me from doing the right thing. Like, when I do this self-sacrifice, when I do this and it's hard for me, I have a direct telecommunication with Hashem instantly. Get that to your Yetzer Hara, and he'll want that connection. He'll leave you alone. Anyway, so, you know, you can make a picture of that. Direct communication because of that self-sacrifice. You can see yourself like connected instantly, like a text. Anyway, let's see. Any ideas besides? You could see you could see yourself in a situation that's normally not so easy for you to act kindly to someone who is not kind. And you're acting kindly. And then see like these spiritual muscles like getting stronger. So you can see like you know, like the word kindness at all, you know, like getting your kindness, your neshama and your quality of kindness getting stronger. Can you see the picture? I'm seeing it, like, you know, like just you see yourself in a very strong image, because now you are stronger because of your kindness, especially when it was so hard for you, like in a situation like this, when you were loyal and they weren't, when you were kind and they didn't give you the kindness back, but you know you did the right thing. Oh, everyone here together. I'm so blessed that we have this avenue during this pandemic time. I'm really every day praying for everyone, for refuah shlema. Every day I'm begging Hashem to already redeem us from all that's going on, and that only, you know, good news from now on, and that we should all be in Yerushalayim, techev umiyad mamish. So I hope you had some time to jot down some ideas, and later you'll maybe finish your picture and make it as interesting and motivating as possible, so you can look at it later, and it'll be a constant reminder for you, maybe even before you go to bed at night, you know, look at it and maybe do this visualization that we're going to do right now, which is the part 3 of our meeting. And the part 3 is the visualization. Some people call it a mind movie, because you're like making a video in your brain. You're actually seeing what you want to accomplish from what you've learned. So as we usually do, we relax our body, we get in a comfortable position, and then we actually, with every breath I take, realize the importance of relaxing our body, because there's a part of your body that when you go to sleep, it's very healthy for your body and healthy for every part of you. But there's something about relaxing your body while not sleeping. And even just one moment of that really helps your whole body heal. And it's so beneficial, because your brain, when it's like capable of relaxing after you've relaxed your whole body and you're still awake, it has a certain healing character that is different than the healing that takes place when you're sleeping, from the relaxation that you have when you're sleeping. Because when you're awake and your brain is relaxed, then your brain can have an easier time absorbing information, new habits that you want, new goals. So with every breath you take, you can even see yourself going to a beautiful, relaxed place. a calming place, a place that just makes you happy. And it's like your private place. No one can bother you. No one can ask you to do this or do that. You're just there by yourself to help yourself really get into that deep, relaxed state. And then, as you see yourself there, you just, the beauty of the place. You see the colors, you almost sense the smell. The more you like really feel that you're there, the more it'll help you relax. And then once you're there, you start thinking about the things you learned here today. Maybe focus on the ma of your neshama. Like how true loyalty is being truly loyal to yourself. And to really train your mind to see that the deeds you do, yes, do help other people, but it helps you. What's making you, the true you, more and more come out. So see yourself there, feeling all the deeds that you did, that even though other people didn't reciprocate and they didn't give back to you and they're not as nice to you and whatever it is, see yourself okay with it, because now you know the truth. You are beaming with such joy that yes, it was so hard for you, but you still did it. Yes, it really was difficult, but you did it. And feel like a huge shift within you, like releasing the best part of you, releasing the joyful you, releasing the amazing gems of the person you are, because the truth is coming out. Your loyalty was being loyal to you. Whether the recipient failed you, whether the person didn't even believe you, appreciate you, you did the right thing. See yourself being able to sense that shift. And maybe, if you're comfortable enough, see that person from a distance coming to you. And in your heart, you're more capable of forgiving. You're more capable of not let it stick to you, that heavy feeling that you may have been carrying. And it's just like melting away. It's just like from the fire of the truth. This fire is just melting the harshness and the heaviness from around your heart. And you finally feel so much freer. You feel light, you feel blessed, you feel grace, you feel so thankful that now you can see this in a totally different light. Now you can totally appreciate this newer, better version of you because of this heavy-heartedness melting away from the truth. Now you're really connecting to your neshama even more than ever. Wow. Wow. It's almost like you're crying from joy. You are feeling redeemed. You are feeling geuladik. You are feeling the best ever. And so you smile at that person and you even thank them. Thank you for the opportunity for me being able to give in this way. And they're accepting you. They're smiling. You made your impact. And it's resolved now, forever, in your heart. You're at peace. You walk away both of you, out of this image, leaving this beautiful place, knowing you can, every time you need, get back to this place. It's there at your fingertips, this image. You feel empowered. You're ignited. This free feeling is just making you feel so light. Every step you take, feeling stronger. Your heart calmly beating that you had this time, and you're smiling because you're better for this. And when you open your eyes, you see the deeds that you do like in such a different light, like never before. You feel free. So, if you have any questions, any responses, thank you for joining. I'll look here as I'm so thankful for you all, for taking the time to get to know yourself better and appreciate being loyal to you. Okay, so stay tuned every day, 12 o'clock Pacific time, 3 o'clock Eastern time. I don't know, Israel, I don't know, 10 hours difference, and all the world around. We should all gather together, share good news, and meet up in Israel soon. Please, God. Bye-bye. Thank you for joining. I'll just see if anyone types. Bye-bye.